So my 5 main culture shocks. When I landed, it was 3 a.m. in the morning.
Right, yeah.
And Krishna's driver, Raju, came to pick me up. And we drove from Mumbai to Pune,
right.
which is and it's so hard with Pune and Pune because there everyone says Pune because it used to be. But so I switch off.
Right.
But that drive at 3 a.m. in the morning, and there's like traffic's still crazy at 3 a.m. with all the big trucks and rickshaws going in and out everywhere. And I mean, Raju, he was the craziest driver I ever drove with the whole time, all 3 months. And he was just whipping through the cars. And this was my very first experience of India. And it was crazy.
Were you sitting in the front seat with him?
Yeah, I always sat in the front seat no matter what car I was in. Even Krishna would say, let Jake sit in front so he can see everything.
Right.
Yeah, it was so... But yeah, that's my number one culture shock was the traffic. I mean, there's laws, but they don't get enforced that much. And it was just insane to witness that. Coming back here, driving is just a breeze and you just feel relaxed. Even if there is traffic.
Right.
You just think about what there's like.
So for me, my test of am I still Indian enough is if I can drive on my own in India. The day I stopped driving on my own, then I said, I've lost something.
Well, and a majority of people I met and worked with didn't drive.
Yeah, I know.
They refused to.
They have drivers.
Yeah.
I would drive on my own all the time.
You would?
Yeah.
Okay, that's really cool. And even, people I met, like, out to eat or with some friends I knew, they wouldn't drive.
Yeah.
Most of them had two-wheelers, though. Which I thought, so I got to ride on two-wheelers through all that traffic, and that was crazy. Like, because there was Sheetal, who I worked with every day, who had a two-wheeler, so we'd always ride, but she's just like a little girl driving her moped. But then I had another coworker that had like the fast bike, and he would just whip through, and I'd hold on for my life. Oh, it was fun. The second culture shock would have to be the pollution. The pollution is something I wish I could have. I want to go back. I mean, my mom was there, like I told you before, I left 6 times. And she wants to go back with me because I didn't get to travel much. I went to Karavasa one time. Karavasa, yeah. And then one more place for a retreat with Krishna. I can't remember. It starts with a K as well. So I always get those two mixed up. And those are like 3 hours away. So the furthest I traveled was 3 hours out of Pune. So I want to go back with my mom and travel around India, see Delhi, see Goa.
Yeah.
I just want to go everywhere. And then maybe it'd be a mission trip where I help pick up trash and pollution and everything like that. Right. But yeah.
You didn't fall sick with the pollution or anything?
No. I got sick one time from maybe some street food I ate. I ate street food almost every day. I loved it.
You were amazing. You could withstand all that.
Yeah.
That's great.
That's what everyone told me when I came back. I'm like, you just got to try things. If I got horribly sick one time, then that would have changed my mindset.
Sure. Yeah.
But one time I wasn't horribly sick. Like I threw up maybe one time. But other than that, it was fine. And I love trying new things. And the food there was amazing.
Right.
And I had stayed with Kieran, one of Krishna's old colleagues. And he had a cook that cooked every night for me, which is super nice. And it was just rice and curry and whatever else I asked for, but that was amazing.
Nice.
Yeah. The third one would be the amount of stray dogs.
Yeah.
So I'm a dog person, and that just killed me. But there was one right outside our flat. I named him Rico. So I'd give him a little bit of leftovers every night, and that was crazy. Another main one was family. In India, family is so important compared to the U.S. And it just blew my mind how important it was.
And in what ways?
In the most amazing ways possible. It's like, I mean, here the mindset's different, but there it's like, in your home, in your flat, it'll be grandparents, parents, and then the children. Whether the children be 9 to 15, 15 to 20, 20 to 25, still. But then they care so much about one another. Like, I loved it. It was so cool.
At least 3 generations at a time. Yep.
And that was awesome to see. It was because I was in the homes of everyone most of the time. Like,
that's how you got to see that.
It wasn't just me going abroad and having a bunch of Americans that I hung around with. It was me strictly by myself getting integrated in the culture. Right. Yeah, so I loved that. aspect of it as well.
Nice.
There's one more. I can't think of it. Probably the day-to-day like working, because they start later in the day, but they also end later.
Yeah.
And Krishna was the most hardworking person I think I've ever met.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Okay. I just wanted your input.
And I think, I don't know how he does that. I keep telling him all the time that, he, in the middle of all this, he's a spiritual person and he'll write so much and he'll do so much philanthropy despite being an owner entrepreneur and doing this other thing on the side. I mean, he's got his fingers in so many. He's such a well-networked person.
It's crazy.
I don't know how.
And his energy.
Yeah.
Because so for the work side of it, so there's public and corporate.
Mm-hmm.
For the public side, it was me and Sheetal and Ganesh, Krishna's brother, who we did sales and marketing media and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But that was for public workshops like the Subconscious Mind, where Ravi Budani or Sanjay, if you know them.
Yeah.
They were the trainers and we helped them out get that.
Okay, you got involved in that too.
Yeah, got involved.
Nice.
That was the main thing that I was doing every day was cold calls, which was a bit difficult for me with the language barrier sometimes in the accent. But cold calls, and then we'd create online social media ads, which we would throw out on Facebook and Instagram. Yeah.
So the external, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But then the corporate side, I was very involved in it, but not to the point of adding in content until the end.
Okay.
So I would just go with Krishna and Nitin and all of them to the workshops every weekend, or whether it be during the day. I'll get a call at 8 a.m. Krishna would be like, "You're coming with today?" "Oh, thanks for not telling me last night." So they come pick me up. I hop in the car, or I take a rickshaw there.
Yeah.
There's like Bharat Forge or Bharat Forge. Everyone else made fun of the way I said that. And then Mahindra was really cool as well, and a few other little companies, but those are the two main big ones. And those are like the two main companies in India that people know the name.
The big ones.
So that was amazing to see their gamified learning.
Yeah, okay.
But back to the point of Krishna. So we'd get up at like 7:38, drive there. He would start with energy from 9 o'clock all the way till 6:30 at night. Right. And he's just controlling this crowd of 50 to 70 employees. But then we get in the car to go home, and he's on the phone with his contacts here in the US because they're just getting out. Yeah. And he's still having that same energy the entire ride home. And then he'll say, "Oh, bye, Jake." Yeah. Have a good night. It was just, that was one of my main, someone I want to strive to be someday. He was an amazing person and so kind, and like you said, spiritual as well. Because he's the one who facilitated the spiritual retreat I went on for a weekend. Okay. So
and where was that?
It started with a K, and it was by a lake. I don't know.
Mulshi Lake, M or K?
No, it's got to be a K. Kavasla? No. Kadavas.
Khadakwasla is one.
Okay, that's it. Kadakwasla is where the retreat was, and then Lavasa was where I traveled just with a friend. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Someone I met there. Yeah, I just went up into the hills and saw that. But Kadavasa, where there's a lake there, and our retreat center was right on the lake, so that was cool. Yeah. That was really cool. But I always told Krishna after that experience that there's two Krishnas. There's the day-to-day Krishna, and then there's a spiritual Krishna. And he just got a crack out of that. And I just love seeing that side of him. He took his whole energetic self, put it down, and just facilitated that whole weekend. And it's the first time I ever meditated, and I loved it. Nice. And he gave me things that when I'm getting anxious or anything like that here, I can use and just calm myself down right away. Nice. Which is fun. Yeah. Because I loved everything.
So on the content and experience side, what was your most...
Within the job?
Yeah, within the job.
So what I most gained from that was it'd be the mindset of going to those workshops with the bigger companies and seeing Krishna, and he would pull me up and have me help him out as well throughout. So just seeing the way they did those, and I helped him out create a new one as well. So I got to know what these workshops are about, what they focus on. And
Which one did you create? What did you?
so I don't know if they're going to use it right now, but Krishna just said, come up with your own simulation from what you experienced this whole time. And I have it on my computer if you want to see it.
Yeah, I would love to.
Yeah. So they have, I don't know if have you ever seen any of their?
I know the emergency room.
Okay, Friday Night at the ER.
Yeah, because I had that. That's for me?
Yeah,
good.
That is for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Friday Night at the ER.
I've even played that simulation.
You have?
As a part of mine.
Yeah, I heard it's famous here in the US
it is.
as well. Yeah. And then they also have a Diamonds of Amazonia.
Okay.
Which focuses on maximizing your resources as well as making critical decision making. So your goal is to go from one place in the Amazon and then make it to the Diamond Valley, collect diamonds, then make it back with a certain amount of resources you get at the beginning. So you got to do math the whole time, and there's risk that pops up, like floods or anything like that. So mine was kind of just based off of that, where, so it was really cool. Sanjay took me to Pune Connect. Where are you from, by the way, in India?
I'm settled in Pune. I mean, my family is now in Pune. Otherwise, I've been all over India.
Okay.
Lived all over. Yeah.
Lived all over?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Growing up, I used to move every 2 years with my parents. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
What's your favorite city?
Oh my God.
You have to pick.
Different things for different reasons.
Yeah, I know. That's what I told the entire time. I always told people I was only in Pune before I got to stay in Mumbai for 2 weeks. I only stayed there, and they'd be like, "You're kidding me!" Like you should. They say every part of India has a different culture.
Yeah, very different.
And just a different experience everywhere, which is again why I want to go back. Yeah. But this time I'll check my visa and make sure I get the right visa. But yeah, so this was inspired by Gimme Premi Mountaineering, which was a company. So Sanjay one Saturday took me to Pune Connect, which every year is startups come there. Yeah. And they all present their ideas, but also there's speakers throughout the day.
Right.
And at the end, the top 5 startups do a Shark Tank. Yeah. So that was probably one of my favorite days. And then, so we talked to these guys. They're the first climbers in India to ever climb Mount Everest. And their story was just amazing. So while we were sitting there, we thought, let's maybe put this into a simulation for our company. And so the next week, me and Sheetal went to Gimme Premi at their main office, and we sat down with the guys that talked, and we showed them all of our simulations, what we do, what our motto is, what we want to portray during these simulations, and asked if they would want to be with us and sponsor it. And they said, yes, of course. But again, when I got back and I made it and then I presented it to Krishna and the rest of the group, they said we might do it because I was leaving that next week. So I don't know if they're going to, but I'm going to keep in touch for sure.
And what is the simulation about now?
So it's a gamified learning experience. You can read if you'd like. Or if I can
you can just tell me briefly what it is, yeah.
Yeah, so it's about overcoming obstacles and making it to the top of Mount Everest while working in team. So it's about teamwork, strategizing, communication, collaboration, teamwork. So you had a geologist, a mountaineer, meteorologist, and a Sherpa. Yeah. So what Krishna and me were talking about was it's funny because the Sherpa, within the game, you can either go with what he says on where to go next, or you can go with what one of the specialists say. Okay. And his idea was that the Sherpa is always right. Because he's the one who's climbed the mountain hundreds of times. Right. And these experts, they're experts, but he knows where a rock's going to fall or where you're going to slip or anything like that. So there were just obstacles that we thought of, which is, just fun things in the game. If you were to draw a card, this would all happen and you'd get set back. You need to work as a team and come up with innovative ideas on how to get through the obstacles. Nice. And then you had certain weather conditions like light snow on a sunny day, heavy ones on a cold day, freezing cold on a sunny day. And yeah, so all those were in the aspect of making it to the top of the mountain and back down. Because, and then these were just, I left for us to figure out, or them, because I'm gone now, but I'm still going to help them if they ask. But yeah, that was just a quick simulation that Krishna had me put together.
And how would you, so this would be played with like how would this be played?
A business. So there'd be a board and you'd have a team of 4 to 5. Well, 4 because of the 4. Well, they could add one still too.
Right.
We were thinking like an emergency guy in case someone falls at. But yeah, it'd be played in the way where you start at the bottom and then you have to think the most strategic way up the mountain because you have the map. So you have to find the most strategic ways, whether you decide to rock climb at certain points or whether you decide to go through the valleys, which there's chances of falling or also chances of avalanches.
Right.
So, but then there's also there's always going to be a clear path.
So you would have a board game with the map of the mountains and visuals and all that, and you would have some card of a deck of cards that will actually pull out of the the situations that occur. Yeah,
and then you would also have to put a money aspect in at the beginning, and you buy your resources.
Okay.
Whether you maximize oxygen, food, water.
Okay.
Just all depending, and then we put one, one cabin. Where you can get maybe food for a day.
Okay.
And then at the very top, like right next to before you summit, it was like -40 Celsius conditions. And up there, one of our little twists we put in it was one person had to choose to turn back because they had to give up their oxygen for the other 3 to make it. Because that was one of the stories from Give Me Premier that they said was there was 2 of them and he goes in, our guy here gave us all oxygen so we can make it to the top. And he went back down. And even though it was really depressing that he didn't summit for the first time, he still gave up his oxygen for the other 3 to make it.
Right.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely. So would it be fair to say that you have figured out at least some ways to conceptualize new ways to formulate your own games?
Yeah.
And game-based learning.
And gamified, is what they say. But game-based learning and gamified
learning,
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
How much of this did you do?
That was it. But I was at almost every other, I was at every Friday night at the R. And what was cool is they didn't just do Friday night at the R. Krishna, being an accounting guy, he came up with his own version of Friday night at the R.
Right, I'm sure.
Which I couldn't. I mean, I was there and I was helping out and I was playing as well. That one was rough because it's all about finance and spreadsheets and balance sheets and everything. But that was super cool because the people who go to that, they're not there to just have fun. They're there to actually get an experience out of this game.
It's serious learning.
And realize. But for me, I loved it. It did help me out in some ways to think about it. And I'm sure if I played it again, I'd be more focused. But I mean, I was helping out and doing all that, but still trying to get the concept of the financial Friday at the R.
Right. After, I think the most you had here was in your simulation, didn't you?
Yeah.
In the retail store simulation.
Yeah, exactly. But I also took accounting and all that through the business courses as well.
Right. Good. Excellent. Yeah.
And the marketing and the sales calls, that was also.
So what kind of companies or people did you call?
So we mainly focus on just people. Because that was the marketing and the sales was for the public side.
Right.
So for those, you were given previous attendance and you'd reach out to them and you'd find a way to get them to come back to the workshop and pay. But then you also were given, we did the marketing and we put it on Facebook. We all sat down in a room. I have a good picture of all of us using Post-it notes. I thought, I think I sent that to you.
Yeah, you sent it. Yes.
So that was when we were coming up with our marketing strategies, and we did that multiple times. And then we put that into a layout of the content we wanted. And then we had Ganesh, Krishna's brother, come up with a poster, image that portrayed all that and then put that onto social media.
Okay.
But we also hung up posters around Pune as well.
Okay.
And then we got a lot of
Callbacks,
traffic from that. And then they would write down their name, number, and email, and we'd reach out to them through not really cold calling, but calling them because they were interested.
Yeah.
But then it was always giving them a price and having to negotiate.
Yeah.
So that was always fun. And then on the last workshop we did, Krishna thought it'd be a good idea to use free in the ad because a bunch of people liked the word free in India is what he said. But then that was rough because it wasn't free. Like we still had expenses for providing lunch and tea breaks.
Mm-hmm.
So then we had to say free. And then when they called, you had to say, but we are providing you lunch along with some tea breaks. So it'll still be about 2,500 rupees. Mm-hmm. And then they'd be, oh, no. So that was interesting. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I felt like I experienced a lot through that. Also witnessing the other corporate side things. From one of those big companies. That was very...
What was and I haven't spoken with Krishna, so I don't know.
Okay.
What was his feedback back to you?
He mainly looked for feedback from me on what he can improve on if someone else were to come again. Mm. And what I told him was just, I don't know. So what was different about working with this company was half of them were 3 hours away from Ound.
Yeah. And
then only me and Shita were in Ound every day.
Okay.
So it'd be us just talking over the phone with them every day. Mm-hmm. What I told him was it would be a lot nicer if everyone was in the same building every day, or at least 2 to 3 times a week. Mm-hmm. We probably met 1 to 2 times in every 2 weeks, which is hard. Mm-hmm. And that was mainly for the workshops. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know. So I told them either do that, like make sure everyone meets up every week, just because when you have all the brains in one room, you get more results, or maybe hire 1 or 2 more people. Because I think in total there's like 10. But at the same time, it just felt like me and Sheetal were just kind of left alone every day, doing all these calls for the public workshops. And then these guys also had to focus on the corporate as well, which we understood, but it was just kind of hard. Yeah. Because, I mean, it wasn't overload of work. It was definitely not overload of work, but it was a lot of work every day. But that's what and like I told Krishna, every day, like I'm here to work, not be a tourist. Yeah. I didn't sign up to go travel around Ound or India. Here to sit me in an office and I'll work with Sheetal every day and help her out in the company. Yeah. So that was, just some feedback I gave him. I also told him to not put anyone in that same apartment building anymore. Just because the guy that let me stay in his flat, because he had his room and my room was right next to him. And so he is very generous with people coming in and out of his place, like probably 5 to 6 a week, and they'd stay there for long periods of time. So they all had keys to my room as well. So like I'd just be getting home, there'd just be someone sitting there. Oh, okay. So I told him, like, and he asked too, he's like, well, if this were a girl in this situation, it would be totally different. Right. And I said, I'm very outgoing and like I can deal with situations like that, like make a joke right when I walk in. Yeah. But it just got to be too much throughout 3 months of random, like, and it's like, if it's the same people every time, like if it was kids or some guy living with him that I knew and could connect with and had previous experience, but it was different people like almost every week. Oh, okay. And then I did get my headphones stolen, but it didn't really matter. Oh, but yeah. So that's when I told Krishna that, maybe just, and he had another place set up for me too as well, but that was the most, because so nice. Wise,
I think that was the most easiest.
I could walk to work every day. There was a gym right there and a cafe on my way to work to get some coffee. I love the coffee there, by the way. Just a little silver. Yeah. Do you know Swami? Have you ever heard of that? Maybe it's just in Thane.
I don't know.
It's this little little shop. In the last 2 weeks I was there, I told Swami I want to go here every day because their coffee was amazing.
It's South Indian coffee.
Yeah, South Indian coffee,
and
then
vessel. It's like a vertical glass.
Yeah, and then the masala dosa. I had
that's a
masala
Indian
dosa
coffee.
and coffee every
South
day.
Indian coffee is really, really nice.
Oh, it was so good. I was obsessed. And the dosa with the eating with hands is insane. And then I came home for Thanksgiving and we'd have mashed potatoes and like biscuits and stuff. And I would like grab the biscuit and eat it like that. And my mom would go, Jake. Mom, I already told you, this is like the culture there. I just can't stop. It's like grabbing a fork and doing that's just too much, is what I told them. So that was hilarious. But yeah, you definitely get used to the culture there, and especially for 3 months.
I'm glad you just, threw yourself into it and experienced it. That's the best thing to do.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Favorite food, momos. Street food momos. Those are amazing.
Okay.
And then, the masala dosa for breakfast was so good.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did you make friends?
Kinda. Not really. I didn't really get out much. Mainly my days were, it was Monday through Saturday, so there was never any going out to drink or anything like that in college. So I didn't drink at all, pretty much. A few times I went and got, because his brother Ganesh was really cool and laid back, and he'd go have beers with me and we'd watch cricket games. I love cricket, by the way. Cricket is so fun to watch. It's way more fun to watch than baseball. Yeah, I love it. It's more fast paced and it means more.
Yeah.
One of my cool experiences was watching India play Pakistan.
Oh, you did get to see that.
Yeah, and we were at a little local bar and you could just see everyone like how intense that rivalry is. Especially, and then Ganesh put it in the way of words of, you think about sports here and how crazy people get about it, but then you think about sports versus these two countries, and they've had wars against each other, which just brings a whole other aspect. Yeah. And that was really cool to experience and be a part of.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's a lot in 3 months. Yeah.
And there's a lot more. There's a lot more.
Yeah. So how did it work out financially?
Very well. I got 2,000 rupees a week to spend on lunch was pretty much it, or coffee. So I'd get lunch with Sheetal every day. We'd get Swiggy would deliver, or we just walk to the cafe. And then coffee I'd get every morning. But otherwise, I had my cook next door. She'd make me eggs, toast, and some fresh fruit every morning, which is all you really need. So I just eat scrambled eggs, toast, and fruit for breakfast. And then it was always rice and curry at night. But to keep expenses low, and 2,000 rupees a week was not bad at all. And definitely had a good time with just that.
Yeah.
But then otherwise, my own money I'd spend for gifts that I got for a few people. And if I wanted to go have a nice big plate of chicken wings. Yeah. Because I probably ate 70 to 80% veg the whole time. Because Kieran didn't like veg.
Yeah.
So whenever sometimes she would sneak in some like mutton.
Mutton, yeah.
Or chicken. But if Kieran found out, he would probably get irritated. So I just told her it's fine. I'm okay. Like, I'm not that picky. It's okay. This curry is amazing. But yeah, that's financially the only thing that happened. And then I thought I was going to be screwed that last 2 weeks because I probably had maybe 200 left over in my bank account.
Wow.
And then I had to stay in a hotel the first night because Krishna didn't know yet because he was in the U.S.
Oh, that's when he called me. Okay.
Yeah. So I had to stay in a hotel the first night, and right there that was $75 because it was right by the airport.
Yeah.
And then the next day, Krishna called me right away, says Swamni's coming to get you. He's going to let you stay in his place and you can go out to eat with him and all that. Because I won't be back for a couple days, maybe even a week. So that saved me pretty much.
Yeah. Okay.
And then if I would have been there for a week by myself, trying to figure out with this FRO office and all that.
No way.
and the police as well. They were so intense because I overstayed a month.
Yeah.
And they had to get all of my documents, and if Swami wasn't there talking in Marathi with them,
there's no way. Even otherwise, you need somebody really strong who can deal with them.
And that's what happened was Swami had a connection with a CBI agent.
Okay.
Who then came down to the FRO office for a few days and helped us out talking with the higher ups.
Wow.
Yeah. So and I went on Diwali, went there and celebrated Diwali with them, the CBI agent, and hit all his daughters and his family, and it was really fun. Without him, I probably wouldn't have made it home for at least I don't even know if he'd be home now.
Yeah.
Because
were your parents really tense?
Oh yeah, my dad knew that it would be resolved at some time. At least I was staying with Swami and being okay. But mom, being a mom, she was not having it. But Krishna called her almost every day, and so did I and Swami, and we had a group WhatsApp. So we were keeping her updated every time we got updated, which was always, so we're gonna book a flight for you tomorrow, and then it wouldn't happen. So then it'd be the next day, it wouldn't happen. They'd be like, maybe next week. Didn't happen, and then okay, well we'll see when this happens. And then finally it was like, okay, just accept that I'm here. I'm gonna celebrate Diwali and have fun.
Oh.
But yeah, that was it for the expenses or anything like that. Everything went very smoothly. And it kind of doesn't really suck that the last 2 weeks happened, but that story trumps everything else.
Yeah.
That story, like if people tell me how it was, I have this, that kind of just comes out besides the great experiences I had before that.
Yeah.
But I mean, when I sit down with someone, then all the experiences come out and you can really hear.
Yeah.
But yeah, that last story, I'll never forget that one.
Yeah. And, oh my God. And how did you do with language and other things locally?
Very well. Yeah, it was...
I mean, in India, language is not a barrier. Often. It's English, everybody understands.
And if you did run into any language barrier, whether it be by myself, then you kind of just body language it out.
Yeah.
Like water or food. I mean, it kind of just comes into play.
Yeah.
And if not, then the person who I was conversing with goes and finds someone that speaks English, or the opposite. Like mainly the rickshaws was pretty hard.
Yeah.
Because those are all pretty much locals. Right. So if I'd ask for rickshaw and I'd start talking, he'd be like, no English. I'd just turn around, because I mean, there's people everywhere. So I just turn around and ask them if they can speak in Marathi or Hindi, and show them my phone where I'm going. And that was pretty easy. Yeah.
Okay, good.
It's problem solving. You just gotta.
And normally in India, people don't just sort of, loot you for something.
No.
They don't.
Not
at least that part of the town is very safe.
Yeah. And everyone is so kind in India. It's insane.
Right.
Like the nicest people I've ever met in my entire life.
If you go to China, it's different. Language wise, you can be really stuck.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless you're in Beijing or Shanghai. But you go outside of that, and like when I landed a summer ago, I was teaching at Ocean University in China. And I landed in Qingdao airport. And I went from Beijing. I had a connection from Beijing to Qingdao. And my earlier flight was delayed, so the layover was really cut short. So my bag didn't make it to Qingdao.
Oh.
And when your bag doesn't make it, you have to go there, and with the customs people, you have to let them know that your bag is coming. They'll deliver it, and you fill out a form and all that, right? And there, even at the airport, nobody understood any English.
No English?
No matter how slowly I spoke, anything. I was saved because I had somebody coming and picking me up locally from the university, and I had his phone number. Okay. So then I called him, and these guys, they spoke, and then...
So if you had his phone number, how did you contact him?
I had my international phone was working.
So. You do have an international
When I go,
phone.
I turn, like it's $40, and you have certain amount of data and phone on.
Because for me on that last night, the only reason I couldn't contact, because the last night my flight was at 2, so that means it was afternoon here, so I could have contacted Krishna.
Yeah.
But I had just given my SIM card to Shito.
Yeah.
And my phone didn't work.
Oh.
So then I contacted my mom first, But then I called because I went just to the nearest place I think would have Wi-Fi,
Right.
which not a lot of places give you free Wi-Fi.
No.
So I just went to this restaurant across the street and asked.
So you went to the airport and then they denied.
Yeah,
What
I
did
had
they tell you?
bags and everything.
At the check-in counter.
Yeah, I get up with my check-in and international airport, and I'm telling them there. So what happened the first day was the flight got delayed. My flight got delayed 8 hours.
Okay.
So then everyone in line is frantically panicking.
Right.
And I get up there and they rebook my flight to go to the Netherlands and then to the US, or then to Chicago and then Minneapolis.
Right.
So that all happened. And then I'm finally just relieved that I said, yes, I'll wait 8 hours at the airport. Just have coffee. It doesn't matter. And then I give them my passport and they open my passport and the stamp says like, it came here, or I was supposed to leave by 22 days previous.
Yeah.
And then they brought over the immigration and everything, and they said, absolutely not. Yeah, go here tomorrow and figure things out, which is the FRO office.
Okay.
So from there, the problem solving started.
Yeah.
But again, if Swamp Neil wasn't there,
yeah,
it would have been pretty rough.
So how did you contact them in India then?
Through Krishna.
Okay.
Yeah. And then through whenever I could get Wi-Fi.
Mm.
Otherwise, I was with Swamp Neil that 2 weeks pretty much all the time.
Mm.
And then in his house.
I mean from the airport till the driver came next day.
I stayed at that restaurant. Because because I had Wi-Fi in the airport.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
But then once I panicked and I left the airport, put all my bags down, and then I ran back in because I realized I didn't have Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
And the
door closes up. Yeah.
The guards there said absolutely not. And I said, my bags are there. Can I just do a call right here quick? And they said yes. So I was calling Krishna, and then he didn't answer. Call mom. She answers. She said what I was thinking. I was like, I'm just going to go go to this restaurant across the street, get Wi-Fi, try to figure something out. And then I ended up just staying at a hotel right next to that restaurant. And woke up the next morning. So the hotel had Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So then that's how I called Swamp Neil and Krishna the next morning, which is very early. I didn't go to bed. I couldn't.
Yeah.
I had so much adrenaline. And
I know.
I didn't freak out too badly, but it was
it can be scary.
Yeah. But I knew once Krishna finally contacted me, and I had someone who I had met on the retreat, and I knew he was an amazing person, which he is. He's so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, people, that should be my number one. I mean, or how nice people are and how kind and generous.
Right.
You walk into any house or flat or room, and no matter if you're Indian, white, Asian, anything, who's ever in that room is so nice to you. I mean, I don't know if that's everywhere, but that's what
that is generally true.
Yeah.
It is generally.
And I mean, I'm sure there's exceptions, just like in the US.
Mainly people-oriented country, actually.
Yeah. It's so nice. And that's kind of what Swamp Neil's, that's what he said about traffic. Was he's like, we all just trust each other. We're all kind, and we're honking, but we're not honking because we're mad. We're honking because we want the traffic to keep going or to let them know you're there. Oh, the honking is insane. He's like, we're all just trusting each other. We're trusting country. We rely on one another, and that's how traffic just flows, I guess, is how he put it.
Yeah, there is a method to the madness.
Yeah, he used that term.
Yeah, there is a method. And, you're looking on the side and you're paying real attention to if somebody's going at a particular speed and, coming in front, then there's something happening. And there are rules, unsaid rules as to when do you slow down and when you keep going and when you let the other person pass, when you not let the other person pass.
Mm-hmm. And it's crazy because I saw one accident, but it was just someone running into the back of the other car, and the other car didn't even care.
Yeah.
Like, they're just going to still drive with a little dent.
Yeah.
And here it's like someone scratches your car and you call your insurance, get the cops involved. It's insane. It's absolutely crazy.
Levels of inefficiencies built in from a process perspective.
Nice.
Yeah. Good. So what would you do if you go back next time?
Travel. Definitely travel. And for sure stop in Pune area and see everyone.
Mm-hmm.
But for sure travel. That's what I told them. I am going to go back no matter what. But I do want to see more of India. Because like they would travel like within my company, the company we worked for, they would travel and they'd come back, show me pictures, and they'd be like, you should go, just take 3 days off. Mm-hmm. It's like, no, it's okay. Like I'm only here for a certain amount of time. 3 months is not that long.
Yeah.
At all.
Right.
Not at all. And I just said, it's okay. I'll come back if I want to travel. Nice. Which I do plan on doing.